looks like, remember we are post-board here, so Alford has a lot more tools, cards like Dispel, Celestial Purge. Gerrick won the first sideboarded game, so we'll have our Storm player, Paul Muller, will be on the play.
Yeah, that makes sense. The game 1 configuration, the blue-white, looks to be pretty bad. You know, there's Wall of Omens here, Detention Spheres, Spreading Seas, Gideon of the Trials, just a bunch of stuff that's pretty slow, all sorcery speed, and things that clean up a bit on the sideboard. You have Dispel coming in, you have some negates, Rest in Peace for Graveyard Hate. That'll make the matchup just a little bit better.
Yeah. Alfred looks like he's going to 6 here. And Ryan, we have our other result in. Colin Roundtree, our Eldrazi player, also won his match this round, which means we're going to have some real ugly breaker fights going on. And we're going to have 9. The battle for that 8th place spot between Julian John, Jeremy Fry, and Colin Roundtree, all 3 of them entered the round within 1% of each other and all won.
Wow.
2 will make it and 1 will not. Now, this match is pretty solid. The winner's going to be, and their breakers are too high to be jumped.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be a mess.
That's a tough sweat. Never love to see that.
Paul, turn 1 Serum Visions. Gerrick has kept on 6. We're trying to join teammate Caleb Shear in the top 8. Top bottom for Serum Visions.
One of the things about blue-white versus blue-red Storm, as opposed to decks like blue-red X or just straight blue-red Control, you don't have access to Lightning Bolt, so it's harder. You actually have more games where you lose to just mana creature, because if your interaction is Path to Exile, you still accelerate their mana, and you can still be in a bad spot.
Sleight of hand for Paul, second turn, going for a land. Does he find it? He does. It's an island. But Gerrick has picked up that very first turn and was a Rest in Peace. I like it.
That's good here.
Boom, exile the graveyards. Go. That'll slow Paul down for sure.
Yes. This is going to turn into a long one because Paul's fast wins are a little bit turned off and Gerrick doesn't have any fast wins.
Yeah, so because Paul has so much time, is he still favored in the late game, or can blue-white effectively close this down?
Rest in Peace is good. It's not as oppressive as Ruined Halo, Naming Grape Shot.
He has that too, right? Oh yeah, he's got one in the board. Paul's casting an Opt.
Paul does have some answers to that. The issue is that with Rest in Peace here, it's hard to Gifts Ungiven into anything.
Yeah, it's just a draw 2. It's like a draw. It's a 4 mana. It's questionable if it's better than Inspiration.
Yeah, when you have Rest in Peace out, you start looking at these gift piles that are like Serum Visions, Opt, Sleight of Hand.
Yeah, so it's a 4 mana draw 2. At least you can get a good card. It's like look at the 4, get the worst 2. That's not what I want to do. You see Vendilion Click End Step for Gerrick. We're going to take a look at Paul's hand.
Paul's hand is not good.
2 lands, Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose, Grape Shot. Yeah, I'm not very into it.
It's fine to take the Grape Shot because it kills the Vendilion Click.
Yeah, okay.
And he goes for that.
Paul will draw, and this was on Paul's end step too. Like the timing. I like when people do this end step instead of during draw phase.
Draw step was a lot better when the average spell in Magic was just weaker.
Yeah, but now it's like you just can't take your mana down for their turn. That's silly.
Especially against Storm, where like you do it in their draw step, and then
then you lose.
This hand is a combo hand that I can't take 1 card off and stop making it a combo hand, and I added 1 to Storm.
Yeah.
There's some real nightmare scenarios.
2 more lands on Paul's side, and you can see he's struggling a bit. Here's Shivan Reef. It's one of the 2 lands we know about. It just passes on 5 mana. Do we see anything end step from Gerrick? Looks like we might. Snapcaster Mage just gonna cast it. I mean, graveyards are gone.
Look at that synergy. He'll Rest in Peace Snapcaster Mage beatdown deck.
This makes sense though why he would take the Grape Shot. Bunch of X1s.
Yeah. And this clock is nothing to joke about. 5 coming in here.
Yeah, 5 Paul down to 12. Gerrick has, or you said, you know, one of the issues with blue-white is that they don't win very well, which I agree with, but it looks like Gerrick he's found this clock's just fine. 5 damage is okay.
2 Vendilion Click on the sideboard when we covered Gerrick earlier. Yeah. It seemed to be one of the more important cards in his sideboard strategies.
Baral, the play for Paul, but mana's not the issue here. Even with a spell that's cost reduction, it's okay. He'll cast Manamorphose, and now Gerrick gets priority. Does Gerrick even care? I mean, yeah. I'm not sure he does.
Yeah, with the cards that Gerrick knows about, Paul's looking to draw some things off of this Manamorphose.
Oh, spell 2. Makes red-blue, draws. He's trying for something, but this is hard.
He had enough rituals where if he found Empty the Warrens, if those are in, he could make quite a few goblins.
Okay. Gifts ungiven for Paul. You mentioned how this card is not that impressive when there's a Rest in Peace in play.
This is probably going to be one of those cantrip piles.
Yeah, you pick 4 cards and get the worst 2. So you just get 4 cantrips, and then he probably takes your Serum Visions, takes your Opt, and you get like Sleight of Hand and something.
Yeah, just kind of picking 4 fine cards.
Maybe pick another Gifts.
Yeah, another Gifts, you know, it'd probably be gone, but you can only cast so many of those anyway.
So Sleight of Hand, Opt, Serum Visions, Manamorphose. Okay.
Yep, this makes sense.
The 4 cantrips.
The Manamorphose is the best card there. I would put that in the exile.
Probably like that and Serum Visions are the best cantrips, right?
Yeah. If we're concerned that a combo is going to be cobbled together this turn, the Sleight of Hand is slightly better than the Serum Visions.
Yeah, especially if you think Paul's trying to combo now or whether he's trying to rebuild for next turn. That's true. He'll give him Opt and Serum Visions, so that's out of respect for the same turn combo that you were mentioning.
Yeah, I like that split.
Those are the cards that are the most dangerous right now.
Where does Paul go from here?
Serum Visions will cast one of the cards he got, up to 4 Storm. Gerrick's just not concerned.
We see this with Paul. We see this when we cover Caleb Shear. I was very deliberate with those scries. Recheck the hand. Can I do it this turn? Can I do it next turn? And
Paul just says go. Sets up top bottom with Serum Visions. Now the Baral does check Snapcaster Mage on blocks.
Yeah.
Though keep in mind we have Celestial Colonnade at the ready, so Colonnade and Vendilion Click can deal 7.
Attention Magic players.
It's a 2-turn clock. It'll force Paul the combo next turn.
And the way that things played out last turn, Paul already knows that Gerrick didn't really have anything to disrupt.
He's going to swing and path the Baral.
We have 4 turbo constructed events.
This is very aggressive from Gerrick, just completely tapping out.
And Paul left a card on top that he wanted, and he just opted in response before he shuffled here. Good sequencing there.
So it's a swing for 9. Paul goes to 3. I'm a little surprised. I guess Gerrick just had no more control cards in hand. And
yeah, so Paul got to cast so many spells last turn, and Gerrick did nothing. Gerrick knows that Paul knows that Gerrick's on nothing. So he's just going to shove.
Yeah. And now Paul just, okay, so here we go. Gerrick's tapped out. Game is, can Paul storm to 20? Gerrick has no plays. I mean, 2 cards. There's no disrupting shoal or anything.
And from 3, the Colonnade and the Vendilion Click, they're both lethal. There's no line for goblins anymore. We just have to see a big grape shot.
Yeah, Paul's not going to survive the turn. So with Rest in Peace in play, can he storm to 20 right now? Let's go. Land number 7 starts the turn. 8. Make that 8. Plenty of mana, but what are the cards? Pyromancer Ascension's in his hand. That's
a bad one.
Rest in Peace card's kind of a jerk.
Rest in Peace is a bad matchup for Pyromancer Ascension. Now, Paul and Caleb have liked Ascension because Graveyard Hate's been on a downswing, but it sure is not good when they have it.
Baral from Paul. Say go.
That looked like a pass.
Okay. Well, we have to do something. Activates. Gerrick's just gonna swing. Activate. Colonnade. Paul's a Giga Drows, I'd assume.
Could be.
It's like the only thing that makes sense here.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
He didn't have lethal last turn, so he says, I'm going to buy myself another turn.
And I like that
Here's
Paul's tapping a
Giga-Drows.
lot of mana. You want extra copies of your Giga-Drows. You don't want...
In case one gets spell pierced or something. Yeah, here's Giga-Drows. The replicate spell from Guild Pact, tapping everything lots of times. It'll buy Paul another turn.
We'll see if he can draw something here.
Fetch land from Gerrick. Pass. So once again, can Paul win? He needs to storm to 20.
20 is so much.
I mean, if he starts on Repeal Rest in Peace, I think he has a chance.
That can build it up, that's for sure. Probably take something like Pieces of the Puzzle at this point.
Says go, doesn't have it.
Let's just have more Giga-Drows.
That would be mighty strange. He doesn't play anymore.
Well, that makes that a problem.
He can't Noxious Revival it. It's exiled. And just to swing here, Gerrick's not going to swing the Colonnade this time, it looks like. Yep, and Paul doesn't have it. He extends the hand. Vendilion Click will deal him in. And Gerrick Alford, your blue-white control player, he's going to make sure there's a Snapcaster Mage in top 8. With blue-white control, he